Let's take you to Fulton County, Georgia now, where New Orleans jail escapee Derrick Groves faced a judge today. He waived his right to an extradition hearing, meaning that he'll be heading back to Louisiana. Groves is the last of the 10 inmates who were on the run after escaping from a jailbreak back in May. He was recaptured in Atlanta yesterday. Let's bring in CBS News national correspondent Kati Weis live for us in New Orleans. She's been following this case from day one. Kati, what do we hear from Groves today, and what comes next in his case?
Sure. Well, today in front of a judge in Atlanta, Groves told the judge, quote, "I want to return where I'm from." He accepted his extradition. And so now the Attorney General has about 15 days to figure out how to get him back here to New Orleans after he and 9 other inmates escaped from the Orleans Parish Justice Center here in downtown New Orleans, just 10 minutes away from where I'm standing. Groves was arrested following a brief standoff, and dramatic standoff nonetheless, a good way to cap off this months-long saga that really started back in May pretty dramatically as well. He was arrested yesterday, and he was arrested by officers swarming the house where they had gotten a tip that he might have been located. They threw in gas canisters to try to coax him out. They saw some movement, deployed canine officers, and canine officers were able to find him in the crawl space of the home. And then as he was being taken away in cuffs, he even confidently and boldly blew a kiss and smiled at the cameras. Now, before the escape, Groves was facing a life sentence for 2 counts of murder. The victim's family in that murder case has really been on pins and needles ever since he escaped, according to the district attorney here in town. Take a listen to what he had to say about their relief over this escape or this capture.
So I was able to get to know the next of kin. And I just want you to all to understand that the children in this family who played sports in that park in the Lower Ninth Ward have not been able to go out there during all of this time. Their lives have been shut down out of fear because they didn't know where this man was. And the men and women of these different agencies have given them their lives back. And that is extraordinary. And I was talking to the next of kin a few weeks ago, and she was still trembling.
And the Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill also said last night in that same press conference that she is grateful to all of the law enforcement officers that put in the work to make this happen. There was a task force that was put together. It was in a very expensive effort to capture this last remaining fugitive. She said at one point towards the beginning to try to capture all 10 of them, it was approximately a cost of $1 million a day. Now, she did release a statement today about the extradition, just saying that she's already formulating a plan to get Groves back here to Louisiana, saying, quote, "Those discussions are already underway and require Louisiana State Police to coordinate with law enforcement in Georgia."
And Kati, it's, I want to repeat this, that Groves hid out for several months and then ended up all the way in Atlanta, Georgia, meaning he could have had some help. Is it clear whether or not anyone else will face charges in this case?
Well, that's certainly something that's still being investigated. I mean, it is a 6.5-hour drive from here in New Orleans to Atlanta, where he was finally captured. He has been on the run for quite a while. The other inmates were caught within weeks of their escape. So one of the big questions is, how did he manage to stay undetected for so long? Well, law enforcement, they were able to capture him with a tip. They're also asking now for tips from the public if they were maybe afraid to come forward before while he was still at large, to please come forward now and give them some information about how he managed, who maybe may have helped him, aided and abetted him. But one thing that I thought was interesting last night during the press conference, Louisiana State Police Colonel Hodges mentioned that he always seemed to be one step ahead. Groves always seemed to have just left. They had just missed him whenever they would follow up on a tip, and that oftentimes on social media, the tips would be old or outdated. And so that was something that kept throwing them off the trail and made it more tricky and difficult to capture him, that he was very elusive. And one other piece of information that was pretty fascinating as well is this man, Groves, was considered to be the mastermind behind this initial jailbreak that happened so many months ago.
And he was the last one captured just yesterday. Kati Weis, thank you so much.